Awesome. All right. So good morning, everybody. Hopefully you were on last week's call. If you were not, I strongly recommend you go back and listen to it. It was a great one. It was all about open houses. It was very strategic. It was lots of to-dos you can do. And my whole conversation I'm having right now with everyone I'm coaching is we got to double down on what's working. Okay. So that was why we had that conversation last week. If you're even having open houses at all, if you're even intending on doing one, you might as well double down on it and get as much out of it as you can, right? You're going to be doing it anyways. So go back and listen to that one and a lot of great stuff. Okay. The other place you have to be focused. Alyssa's going to smile at me when she hears me say this, but is your sphere, right? Always, always, always your sphere. And here's where we have to be right now, everybody. You are in the last 9 days of the year for lead generation. If you follow my schedule of Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you have 9 more days of lead generation. Okay, that's 9 more hours to reach out to your sphere. And you've got to be purposeful about what you're doing in those hours. Okay, so let's start there. Okay, that's all we're going to talk about today. I want every single one of you to get off this call with a comfortable way you can reach out to the rest of your sphere by the end of this year. Deal? In the next 9 days, hammer out every single person in your sphere you haven't talked to yet this year. All right, so let's talk about what we're talking about. As you go through, we're in the fourth quarter now, right? So all 3 quarters, you should have been reaching out to your sphere, right? Checking in, saying, hey, maybe real estate, maybe not real estate, does not matter. Okay. Now we're at the last few weeks of the year. Your focus in the fourth quarter has to be reaching the people you haven't yet. Okay. Reaching the people you haven't yet. What I learn, and you guys can tell me if this is correct or not, but it usually works out to about 80-20. Usually 20% of your sphere you're getting to a lot of the time. It's real easy. 80% you're likely not. Okay. And guess where all that business is? In the 80% you're not. Okay. So you've got to have a reason, what to say, and be comfortable about being able to reach out to these people. Okay. So first, I want you guys to help me a little bit this morning. And I know that's hard sometimes on this call, but you can do it. Open your chat boxes. And I want you to tell me what you've been, what has worked when you've reached out to your sphere that has felt comfortable. What have you said to them that didn't feel salesy, didn't feel like you were going to make them do something? Anyone? Because I know I can tell it to you, but it sounds better when it comes from everybody else. What's working for them. And we're going to talk about ideas, right? So let's just start with what's worked this year for you. Beautiful. Okay. So great ideas right there in the chat. Number 1, happy Thanksgiving. Did you have a great Thanksgiving? Any real estate goals for the end of the year? Right? That's a great one. You're going to work right into your real estate goals for the first part of the year. Alyssa, hey, this made me think of you. That is such a great one. I was riding by your neighborhood. We haven't talked in forever, so I thought I'd reach out. Okay. Asking to meet up and have coffee. That is awesome. Awesome. Okay. And anyone you haven't reached out to in the last couple of years, that's who you want to set coffee with. Okay. So let's talk through that. You do not want to set coffee with someone you've already had coffee with this year or already is a good source for you and easy to call. Okay. I want to challenge you to reach out to someone you're not typically in front of and would like to be and set a coffee with them. Okay. These are usually your C's and D's in your sphere. Your A's and B's you've likely gotten to. Okay. Because those are the easy ones. Now you got to push yourself a little bit for those C's and D's. Okay. So, yes, go through those, figure out who you need to ask to coffee, and then start scheduling those and schedule them into next year. There is no reason you can't call them now and say, hey, I'm working on filling up my calendar for next year. What do you do in the first week of January? Could we meet and have coffee? Okay. So schedule them out if you need to. I love that. Okay. So that's some of the stuff that's working. Now I want you guys to tell me where your hesitation is. Why does it feel uncomfortable? Okay. Because this is real. It is not comfortable. I talked to a team leader yesterday of a huge office, and the biggest thing he said was, I don't know how to get my people to just call their people. So this is a very number one common thing for all of you. Okay. So just know that this is the piece to figure out. If you can figure out how to comfortably call your people on a scheduled basis, this is where you'll get over the hump. Okay. This is where a lot of agents struggle. So tell me, why do you struggle? What is it that stops you when you get to that list, or makes it hard, or makes you not want to get right off this call and go jump into it and do it? Oh, Alyssa, that's such a good one. The only calls we get now are spam. What do you do with those? Delete them? Yep. Do you glance at the voicemail they left? Maybe sometimes. I usually do, just to kind of see, right? If they called me, did they leave a voicemail? It gives you that summary, right? Okay. And what do you do with ones that aren't spam? You pay attention to them, right? You pay attention to them. If it's your doctor that calls and that list is spam, you look at it. If it's, I've got the dermatologist that left me a message yesterday, right? It's in a list of spam call messages, and I have to pay attention to the dermatologist one. Okay. The reason I'm saying that, you guys, is because number one, are you spam? No, you're a programmed phone, program number in their phone, most likely, right? So remember that you are not calling to be spam, and don't be spam, right? What are the spam calls trying to do? Are we afraid and hate spam calls? Because they're pressure filled, right? You feel like, okay, Brandy, money. Yeah, they want money. They're desperate, right? Who are these people that are usually hired to do that stuff, right? They're not the actual salespeople. They're going to spam you and then get the salesperson to you, right? So remember all of that, because you're not spam and you're not calling your people for money. Okay. So this is another big one. You think they're calling me because they think I want something from them, right? And ultimately you do. What you want is that when, gotcha, James, when they make a move, they're going to call you. But you can't make them make a move any earlier than what they're already planning to. Correct? So if you call them today, you really don't have anything high pressure to sell them. Correct? So let's stay away from that, right? If that's what you're worried about sounding like, just make sure you don't do that. Okay, James, let's take a question, and then we're going to jump into some good ideas.
Well, what I normally do is when I call my database, and if they don't respond, say after second day, what I normally do is
Yes,
follow up with is a text message. And
good. We're going to
the
talk
reason I
about
do a
that.
text message, I say, hey, um, Julie, this is James Hooker, realtor in Columbus, South Carolina. I'm just calling to check up on you and see how things are going. And I leave a voicemail, I text, and occasionally I will email them because when they receive
Great.
calls every day, they don't know if they haven't programmed you in their phone, they assume
That's correct.
you are a spam caller. So I just like to follow up with that just to let them know that I'm not a spam caller because I get at
I think
least
that's
15 a day
awesome.
myself.
Yep. Yep. At least 15 a day. And that's a great point because if you're not programmed in, you want to make sure you get to that point, right? Because you should be with all of your sphere. And I love that because your text message script. So start with the text message you might send them, which then becomes your script to call and your voicemail script. Okay. You have to do all the touches. So here's the other thing. We're at fourth quarter. You have to hear from these people now. This is the crucial time that you need to connect with them. Okay. So this is when you're also going to have to really go to page 15, leaving strategic voicemails and strategic text message. Anytime you see voicemail, sub in text message. Okay. Because it's the same thing. And make sure you're leaving strategic ones. What does that mean? Number one, you identify yourself as their realtor. Number two, you tell them why you're calling and give them a call to action, a reason to call you back. Then you say, if I don't hear from you by X, I'll try you back. No big deal. And then when you don't hear from them by X, that's your follow-up time, right? Then you say, hey, I'll try you next week. Then when next week comes and you haven't heard from him, that's when you go for coffee. Okay. And I guarantee if you call, leave a voicemail and text afterwards, 90% of the people will respond. James, is that what you found?
It is. And also, uh, when I leave a voicemail, I use my CRM and
Mm-hmm.
I'll put
That's huge.
left voicemail for callback, VM for callback.
Yep.
And then I put a reminder.
Mm-hmm.
Say if I call them 11 o'clock, I'll give them the 24 hour, whatever time I call, give them
Yeah.
24 hours. And I do a
Great.
reminder in my CRM. Of course, it reminds me
Yeah.
I need to make things to do today. So it'll let me
Yeah,
know,
absolutely.
yeah, because I
Having
won't
your list
remember.
ready
I
ahead
call
of
50
time. Oh my
people.
God,
Yeah.
yes, that's huge, right? This is why your CRM is so important. And if you need a CRM and a list of your people somewhere, if it's not in a CRM, at least it's on a spreadsheet, right? So you can hammer through, keep notes, see who you've talked to, who you've left voicemails for, right? And how you can narrow it down to keep working to get in touch with those people. Okay. Now, let's talk about some things that you can do and say. Okay. Let's start with you guys to type in the chat box if you have a holiday superpower. I know that might sound crazy, but I want you to just throw it out there and let's see what happens. If you have a holiday superpower, okay? Let's talk about some other ideas of things that you can do. Number one, how many of you give money or support an organization this time of year? Okay. Guys, most awesome reason to call your sphere, to ask them to also support your organization. Okay. So let's just kind of start there. All right. I'm going to use Realtor Foundation because that's a nice, easy one. And the call this time of year is, hey, we're making a final year push. I'm trying to raise as much money as I can for the Realtor Foundation this year and was just curious, would you like to help us out? Right? So easy. So yes, you're asking them for money, but you're also asking them for money for something you just love, and there's zero result, right? I don't really care about the outcome. If they don't, they don't. I don't care. It is a matter of telling them what I'm passionate about and what I align with, right? Okay. So take advantage of organizations you're already supporting. Your church is doing all sorts of things right now, right? With canned food drives, getting presents, right? Adopting families, any of that kind of stuff you do this year, engage your sphere. Okay. If you don't know how to engage your sphere, jump to chat. Okay, we have enough time. Let's go over there because chat is your best tool for all of this stuff. Okay, and I want you to be practicing how to use chat to help you really get to where you need to go. So let's go to chat. I'm going to start a new one and I'm going to say, I'm doing. Can you see? To support. All right. And then let's see what they do. Now, guys, remember, this is my chat. Yours is going to look different because mine knows me now. Mine also knows that I'm a real estate coach. So it always jumps into things to say, and for your coaching classes, right? But it will give you your script for the text message version and your voicemail version. I'd love to pick them up from your porch. Totally optional, just reaching out. Okay. So that's an easy one. Incorporate them in what you're already doing. Okay. We miss those oftentimes. Okay. What else do you like to do this time of year? What else happens? Nobody put a superpower in there, but you can keep thinking on it. Okay. Let's think of timely. Okay. So we've got help out, right? To help others. Think of your organizations, think of things you're doing right now to help out and include your sphere in that. Number two, let's think of some timely things. Those of you in Indiana, what's happening right now? And the Midwest, I'd say. What's happening? Snow. Snow. I asked Alyssa this question yesterday. I want you guys to put this in the chat box. In the last 2 weeks, what have your clients asked you for? What have your clients reached out and asked for in the last couple weeks? Throw it in the chat box if you've got an idea, if anyone knows, because whatever your clients are asking you for, it's the questions they have right now. Okay? Shake your head if you agree, or raise your hand, your digital hand, if you agree. They're asking for tree removal, electricians, the AC companies. Nathaniel's looking for buyers. I love it. Okay, so remember that. They're calling you for that stuff, offer it. So one of the things, listen, I talked about was to reach out and say, hey, I'm getting hammered by calls right now for tree removal and snow removal. Just checking in. Do you have amazing people already for that? Or can I help you? Okay, that's awesome. Provide the service you can provide them outside of when they buy and sell. Okay, so use that as an easy reason to reach out to them and call. Sorry, I want to get this up again because I had some other good stuff in there. What other things can you use right now to try to get some conversations going? Okay, just check in. We kind of said that. How was your Thanksgiving? Now, this is harder. If you've never connected with them, which is what we're talking about, it's going to be hard to check in and say, hey, how was your Thanksgiving? Right? So think about that. You were really focused on the people we really have not connected with yet that we want to make sure we connect with before the end of the year. And that's a great message. Hey, been trying you this year. We just haven't had the chance to connect. I was really hoping we could by the end of the year. Hey, if you have 5 minutes, give me a ring. Okay. So also don't be afraid to tell them it's been a while, right? It's been a while since I've saw you, since I've seen you. And I was just thinking about you, wanted to see how you are. Okay. So let's take one of these ideas. I'm going to stick with the Realtor Foundation because that's such an easy one. Hopefully all of you have some place that you can use for an organization that you support this time of year. Okay. So Realtor Foundation. Here's how I want to show you how we're going to make this into all of the touches we're going to do this month. Okay. And really get these people to engage with you. So number one, you're going to call. And your voicemail is, hey, I'm just reaching out. I'm helping an amazing organization this year and wanted to see if you were interested in giving any to that as well. We're doing a whatever, right? We're doing our year-end push to round out our grants this year. Okay, so that's going to be my voicemail. Just wanted to let you know and see if you're interested at all in supporting mine. People support tons of things this time of year. I'm sure you've got yours. If there's anything you're passionate about it supporting this year, I'd love to know what that is as well. Right? Another great touch. I always love to know, what do my clients also like to support? Right? Here's what I'm passionate about. What are they passionate about? Okay, so that's another great reason to reach out. Hey, just curious. A lot of people support organizations this time of year. I'm very passionate about knowing what everybody likes to support and what's out there. I'd love to learn more. What's your favorite organization? Okay, so let's talk about, okay, so now we've got the Realtor Foundation, right? That's what we're calling about. Hey, it's your Realtor Julie. I'm just calling to let you know about an amazing thing we're doing to the end of this year, trying to raise some money for an awesome organization. If you're interested or don't have someone you want to help already, reach out and I'd love to connect you, let you know more. Okay. Now, the reason I'm saying a voicemail is because it's always a voicemail. Who picks up the phone anymore? No one, right? And when do they pick up the phone? When they know you and want to talk to you, right? So let's think about that too. One of the other reasons we often don't call, and I heard it this morning already from people, it's a snow day. Everybody's home with their kids. I can't start calling at 9. It's the best time to call. And guess what? If anybody tries to call me when I'm busy right now, I'm not answering, but I'm also not offended they called me right now. Right? So if they're offended you called when their friends are home, they probably shouldn't be on your sphere anymore anyways, guys. Let's just be honest, right? And that's what we're trying to do, is make a sphere that's excited to hear from us and engaged in hearing from us every quarter. So if they're not, right, you got to go. And I'll move on to the next person. So that's another great thing, right? If they are reacting negatively about your calls, that means you got to work on it a little bit more. Okay? So then I'm going to leave that voicemail for them. Tell them why I'm calling, what I'm doing. I'm also going to send an email that tells them exactly why I called. Hey, left you a voicemail. Hey, hope you got my call. Hey, whatever it is, want to just follow up with some information about the foundation in case you're interested in learning more. Okay. Then I'm going to go to social and I'm going to make 12 posts about the Realtor Foundation. Okay. Now, use chat for that. Okay. You can jump right in there and say, hey, I have this great organization I love to support. Can you give me 10 fun facts about it? 10 great things they do that people might want to get involved with. Okay. And spread those out. So one post is maybe the Realtor Foundation changes lives, right? That's all the post says. And then you get in, you tell more about the Realtor Foundation. Okay. Let's do real quickly, James, I see your hand up, so hold on one second. Let's just do really quickly how we might just take a, hey, it's been a long time. I'm trying to wrap up my year and connect with everybody before the end of the year. Great voicemail. Hey, haven't had the chance to chat with you this year. We're getting to the end of it. I just want to reach out and make sure we connected before next year started. Give me a call back or I'll try you later this week. Okay, then later this week, oh, hey, it's me again. Just thought I'd try to connect with you. No problem. I know it's crazy this time of year. Hey, let me know if you've got 5 minutes to jump on a call. If not, no worries. I'll try again next week. Okay. Then next week, you've got to call them again and you say, hey, it's Julie. Left you messages. No problem. I know you're so busy. This is a crazy time of year. Here, do me a favor. If you need anything at all over this Christmas season, you make sure you call me and let me know. Otherwise, I'll just continue to be in touch and I hope you're well. Okay. That depends on how well you know them. If they're hugely important, they're a past client, you haven't talked to them in years, this is when I would then reach out and say, hey, been trying you for the last couple of years. Just curious if you'd want to meet for coffee real quick. I'd love to reconnect, see how everything's going for you. Guys, if you invite them to coffee, they are likely not going to ignore it. Okay? So think about that. They might ignore, but when you actually ask them for something, they'll usually respond back, right? And say, oh, sorry, I can't do that. Too busy. Let's try next year, or would love that. Okay. But you will get a response. That is the goal. Your goal is to get a response this time of year, right? Because there is business in there. As people are reaching out to these people, they're finding all their first and second quarter business for next year. James, what's your question? Mm-mm.
Oh, I'm
You're still
sorry.
muted. There you go.
Yeah.
No problem.
You had mentioned you said do 12 posts. Are you referring to in one day, 1 week, or for the month?
Great question. For the month. Okay. So I
Okay.
recommend 12 scheduled posts for the month spread out. Then you have to do your posts, right? Like the little things that happen in your day and your impromptu posts. Okay. But
Okay.
12 you can schedule that align with your marketing message, your calls, your mailer, your email.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Yep, you're welcome. And take your information and just break it down into 12 bite sized bits. Okay. So maybe one is just why do I support the Realtor Foundation? Right. Maybe one is what organizations, what grants does the Realtor Foundation provide? How many grants did we give out last year? Right. I mean, this is tons of posts and I can just keep breaking down into bite sized bits. Now, what's the purpose? The purpose isn't to make money for the Realtor Foundation. And you can say that, right? I just want you guys to know what I'm passionate about, what I align with. Okay. So let's take another one. Let's say you just haven't reached out to them in years. Okay. That's a common one. How many of you have a list of people that might have been past clients 2, 3, 5 years ago and you haven't talked to them yet? Okay. This is the time to get through to those people, right? And let's use some easy things, right? Just checking in. Hey, it's your realtor, Julie. I'm just checking in with all my friends and family to see if there's anything they need as they wrap up this year. If there's anything I can help you with, let me know. Okay. Then I'm going to send an email. Here's some of the things people need to do to wrap up their year before the end of the year. Anything you need help with. Go to chat, find out what are the top 5 things people need to be working on in their house right now, doing for their house. What do they forget around the holidays as far as maintenance, right? There's a gazillion ideas out there. And then just break that check in. How can I help you before the end of the year? And break it down into bite sized chunks. Who needs tree removal? I've got 2 great companies if you do. Comment tree below, and I'll send you a DM with their contact information. Right? Who needs snow removal? Make them engaging. Okay. If you need any ideas, that's what you use chat for. Okay. Where are we still struggling? We've got 2 minutes. You guys have 9 days to get through your whole sphere. So do you have some anxiety about doing that? And do you have the means to reach out and try to make these calls? If you don't, I want you to stay and let's get there. Okay. Do you have what you need? Do you have your strategy to reach out and get to everybody? Okay. If you don't, go to ChatGPT, type it in there. Say, I want to support an organization this year. How can I use that to reach out to my sphere with voicemail, mailer, email, and social media posts? It'll break it all down for you and give you an amazing script. Okay. And if you're still struggling, I want you to call my phone today. Okay, my number is online. If you are not comfortable reaching out to the rest of your sphere, I want to have a one-on-one conversation with you because this is the time. Okay, so make sure you're doing that. I want you to come back next week with successes from doing this. And then we're going to go into getting ready for our holiday wrap up and our end of the year wrap up. Sound good? Oh, here's what I didn't do, you guys. Sorry. I'm going to put in the chat box Thursday from 1:30 to 3:30 is the replay of the marketing planner. It's 2 hours because we're going to actually build your planner this time. So the first bit is going to be reviewing instruction. We're going to go through it real fast, and then we're going to actually build the planners out. So there's the link in the chat box if you'd like to register for that. And if not, feel free to ask me questions, hang out, or get back to your week and go call your sphere. All right. Bye, everybody. Have a great one. Get successes and text them to me.